So, welcome to episode 11 of the 3% podcast with the super inspirational. I've actually saved him in my phone as the Terminator. And obviously through the podcast, you're going to find out why. But it's 5-1 professional mixed martial artist, Liam McCrackin. Welcome to the podcast, mate.
Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to it.
So how's things then? It's been a bit of a journey, mate, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been the maddest 6 months of my life, but I'm definitely on the up now. Like, things are getting better. Starting to get a little bit of normality back to my life. So
yeah. So normality then. What before obviously the event which we're going to speak about in the podcast?
Yeah.
What was Liam's normality?
Very simple life. Obviously I'm a dad now. Got a little 18-month-old daughter. So my life is just a mix of being a fighter and being a dad.
Father.
Yeah, training 7 days a week, literally every single day. And then in between that, just coming home and giving everything to the baby. And then, like, obviously, things have took a little turn for the worse now, but I can get back to it.
Yeah. So I'll always start with, like, a little bit about your background. So, growing up, what was that like?
Growing up, I've had a boss life, to be fair. Mum and dad always, like, couldn't speak highly enough. Literally, like, always there for me, always have been, still are now to this day. So, being, like, very, very blessed to have parents like that.
That your daddy dropped you off?
That's me. They still chauffeuring me around now. He loves it. But yeah, I had a nice childhood. From like a young age, I knew what I wanted to do. I was clever growing up in like primary school years, wanting to like be an entrepreneur or something like that, and use my brain to do something. And then got into fighting when I was about 10. It must have been just before I started secondary school, and then literally fell in love with it straight away. And then everything else went out the window. Then it was
definitely relate to that. I've been there myself.
Yeah, and like once I started, I knew like that's what I wanted my life to be.
And how old was you when you started?
I think I was about 10. I must have been. It's been that long now. Feels hard. I can't really remember what my life was like before I started training. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Where did you start?
So I started off at Hammer in St Helens.
With
Sean, yeah. So in fact, you know what? I'd done a bit of Thai boxing first at a gym in St Helens as well. Went with a mate from school, and I was, you know what? When I look back, I was such a little fairy, mate. I remember getting leg kicked by some bird and crying. And I never went back to that. And then I just needed to toughen up. So I thought, I'm going to get into this. I started like getting into watching the UFC and things like that. Remember, I used to watch like get the John Jones fights and things like that and download them onto a USB, and I'd watch like the whole event. So I just started falling in love with him. Thought, I'm going to give this a go, because I stopped playing football, started putting the beef on, and then thought I need to get into something. Never obviously thought I'd be a fighter. Like I said, I was a bit of a little girl, like, when I look back. Even when I was playing footy, I weren't like a naturally like tough kid. You get some kids, don't you, who are just like just game, and you look at them and you think, yeah, he'd be a good fighter, and I weren't that kid. Like, kids who probably play footy back then probably look and think, well, he's a fighter now. Like, they won't go in for a header or a tackle or nothing like that. But yeah, once I started training, I think I just started like seeing like a future for myself in it, and I was
confidence
good.
Yeah,
my confidence started to build. Yeah, and I started thinking, like, I started becoming like the person I sort of wanted to be. Do you know what I mean? I started teaching myself how to be tough and taking a beating and coming back. So I think I enjoyed that.
I believe that's in you naturally, but sometimes actually takes being on the mats and getting challenged every day, and
100%.
Obviously throwing yourself in the deep end sometimes before you realise it, and then with the training, as you improve, you do just become more confident, don't you?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, I wasn't that type of kid, but a few years down the line, you start to like realise like you can't.
Like school and things like that. You never
it.
get into fights growing up, or
no, I've never really been like a confrontational kid. Always like, even in school, I think by the time I was in about year 9, I was doing it properly, training all the time. But I weren't like doing it to like tell people I was a fighter. No one in the school probably knew I was doing it other than my closest mates. I'd do well in like grappling comps and things like that, but I weren't putting it on nothing. I was doing it for me. It was what I love to do. Do you know what I mean? As I've got older, obviously you start need to try to build a brand for yourself and stuff like that. So I like to put it out there now. But
it's a big part of it now, isn't it? Obviously,
it's massive.
Because it's entertainment, isn't it? At the end of the day, so
and you turn pro, it's probably more so than the actual like your ability is how marketable you are and things like that. So it is very important. But back then I was just doing it because I love to do it.
Yeah, well, I was following you. Obviously, I'm mates with Dean.
Yeah,
obviously owns the gym.
Yeah,
and I was aware of who you was, and just through being in the different circles, a lot of people have always spoke very highly over like your talent and
Yeah.
things like that. But going back to what you said before, it was like training 7 days a week. So it's like,
Yeah.
where do you think that dedication comes from?
The love of it, like it was never been like a chore for me to train. Obviously, the harder parts of things, like when you're in camp and the diet and
Weight
everyone
cutting
eats
and
that
not eating
stuff
what
like
you
that,
want.
horrible. But as for like the training, like that's what I thrive off. It was like I would say it was easy to do because it was what I love to do.
Mm. And how old are you now? 22.
22 now, yeah.
Yeah, so you've been in there quite a while, haven't
I'm a
you?
young veteran, and I've been about like 12 years training now, going on 13 years. So I
Yeah.
said it's hard to remember before I was doing it.
Have you been in the gym much lately?
Yeah, in and out. I've asked like I was struggling a bit going back in and watching other people do it, bit bitter and jealous. Like especially because I feel like if in most gyms I'd go to, like I'd be one of the hardest workers in there. I'd always stand out and looking at people thinking, I don't think you deserve this more. You know what I mean? Like this should have happened to someone else, not me. I put everything into it. You know what I mean? So big setback for me, but big comeback coming as well. So
Yeah.
gotta
Okay.
stay positive.
So we'll go straight in then, mate, and speak about obviously what's happened and really the main reason why I wanted to get you on today, because a big part of my message through this podcast is inspiring people, and
Yeah.
like I'm getting goosebumps now even having this conversation, because I've been following you, and from when I first seen what happened, I don't know what it is, there's just been something in me convinced that you're going to compete again and you're going to fight again and all these different things. So I know from the outside a lot of people looking in, and I'll be guilty of this as well, seeing the videos and you're speaking and obviously how strong you are, and obviously the damage with what you've been through, like you've come out of it mentally and like in an incredible place. And again, I'm not taking nothing away from how challenging it is, but like once that's gone,
Yeah.
you're knackered, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
And I know obviously there'll be things what you're having to deal with, but in terms of like mentally where you are, it's intact, isn't it? Really. So
yeah, definitely. I think mentally I'm gonna come back a million times stronger than what I ever was. I think this has showed me how mentally strong I actually am. One thing I probably used to struggle with was just doubt. I think a lot of fighters do, but
yeah, I
not
did.
many
Yeah.
people are comfortable to speak about it. Like I always just want to do anything like this, I just try and be as honest as I can. Probably doubting myself too much, like not believing in myself, and going through something like this. Like honestly, I feel bulletproof now. Once I can get through this, there's nothing that can
There's
phase me
nothing can
after
stop
this.
you. That's I've saved you in my phone as the Terminator.
I feel like it, to be fair. Wolverine, I've been getting that loads as well.
Brilliant. So like, do you want to speak a little bit about the actual event, just for anyone who's not aware of what's happened then?
So what happened, mad, it's even when I speak about it now, it doesn't even feel real. It sounds like a mad story, but so I started on the day I was meant to be sparring in the morning, but loads of the lads had fought on that weekend. So I come into the Tuesday to spar, and the gym was quiet because all the lads had been out fighting. They were resting, so I done some pads with Dean. And like I said, I'm a hard worker, so I'd never settle for just doing pads. So I was going to train later in the day, but I was going to run to the gym just to get like a little bit of extra work. And I always want to try and do the extra work. I literally live like 5-minute walk from where the gym is as well. And look back now, I think should have just walked there. But I thought I'll go a long way, worked it out to be 10k. And halfway through me run, I got like just completely run over by a bus. Bad accident, like very lucky to be here. Obviously suffered loads and loads of injuries, still suffering now.
What type of injuries?
So I had 4 breaks in me thoracic spine. I broke 3 of my ribs, broke my pelvis, broke my nose. Like major damage to my right leg. It's in a bad way. My right leg. So I've had I think 3 or 4 surgeries on it so far. Got like a big chunk missing out of my thigh, a big nasty scar there. Needed surgery. Skin graft to the back of my leg. That was like, I couldn't believe it when I seen the pictures. I was in hospital and obviously I just woke up and my legs are all bandaged and things like that. And I knew I'd had something bad done to my leg, but I hadn't seen it, what it actually looked like. And then I seen the picture, I was like, that can't be me, that. Just terrible, terrible wounds. Like I've never still, like, not just saying it to exaggerate, I've not seen nothing like it. Looks like I've been bit by a shark, it's crazy. And then just loads of other things. My head wound was probably the thing that was like the most dangerous. very lucky that I've not got a brain injury for the whack I've took to my head. It's crazy. I've got a big L scarred into my head, which is quite cool. Like off 3 tattoo before it there, my initial, but that was really bad. I remember I went into the hospital about 4 weeks later. Got out after about 3 weeks. And I asked that, so I'd had like surgery on my head where they closed it over, and my head was like over granulating. I had like flesh growing out my head from the scar just because the scar was that bad. So I had to go in and get it cut off. And the fella at the scene, when I was speaking to him, I recognised his voice, and the doctor who seen me, and he was the first person who seen me in resus when I come in. And he said to me, he didn't even recognise me. Like when he was doing this to me, he didn't realise it was me. Until I told him about my accident, he was like, I was the first person to see him. It was like a click that I remembered. It was just weird that I was thinking I've heard his voice somewhere. I didn't see his face or nothing like that, but he started speaking to him and he said, like, obviously I've come in with my head was all bandaged up from where I'd been brought in on the ambulance, and he thought he was going to have to like just stitch me head there, and he took the bandage off and he said like where it's an L, my head was just like a flap. You could just peel my head back and see me skull. I've got like an image of like a little picture of it, but it doesn't show how bad the cut actually is. It only looks like the cut's like that big, but it's like 4 times the size of it. Literally, my skull was just out. So to come away from that with no like long lasting.
Yeah, that's the thing. What blows me away probably the most is the fact that obviously, like seeing so soon afterwards you speaking, there's no people set a charity up and things like that, didn't they? And it was sort of like the support through social media, like it absolutely blew up.
Yeah, it was
in
massive.
Liverpool. So, but I've seen you on videos, literally looking like the elephant man.
Don't.
Just like, but thanking everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
just
don't
like,
even remember it. Must have
just
been...
honest to God, just on the video, just saying like, thank you for the support and things like that. And I was just like,
I remember coming out of surgery, and I mean, memories like proper vague from it. Like there's certain things I remember, there's certain things I think I don't even know if that happened. But I remember coming out of surgery and my mum and dad telling me about like the GoFundMe and things like that, and saying like this person's give you this and this person shared it, and I was like, it's mad this. And obviously I must have just been off my barnet and all my painkillers as well. And then I don't remember doing that video, but that got loads of like support and things like that. And I'm glad I've done it, to be honest. And like every single person that gave me anything on, I'm honestly so grateful for. Like I can't thank people enough. I struggled with it a bit, to be honest. After like at the time when I was in bed, I was thinking I didn't know if I was ever gonna walk again or ever do anything again. So like I really did need it. But after about like 8 weeks, I started feeling like I was sort of in debt to everyone. Just like my mind, just like was struggling to deal with the fact that I'd been given so much. But again, like I can't thank everyone enough. I don't know what I would have done without that. Obviously, like I said, I've got a baby and a family, and I just moved out 2 weeks before it happened. Settling into my own place.
And obviously before the accident a couple of times here and there, and like, I'm not surprised you got so much love and support, because obviously that's a reflection of the kind of person.
That's what everyone was saying.
Who you are yourself, do you know what I mean? So I get the fact that it's hard to like take things sometimes, but
it's just the weird things, you know what I mean? Sort of feeling like, but again, like I wouldn't have been able to get through without
the type of person you are and your own attitude and things like that. So
no, definitely. But I forgot where I was going with that
we'll
anyway.
Go back to like the actual event then. So you're on a run, weren't you?
Yeah. Fucking 61 it was just literally right over me. I remember at the time as well, I was getting it sort of got made out to me like I'd come out from nowhere and just, you know what I mean, it weren't the driver's fault. And then obviously I've seen what happened now. I've seen like from the front of the bus the camera, and it's just it's a mad accident. Like you can see me running from a long distance away. I've got it there, I'll show you at the end. Obviously I can't put it out nowhere or nothing like that, but you can be the judge of it yourself. It's mad. Like, apparently when I was on the floor, one of the first things I was asking was, is the bus driver all right? Whilst I was lying there out of it, nearly dying. But and then I look back at the video and I'm like, it's mad. So you can see me coming from a good while away, and you can see where I'm going.
You obviously had your music on.
I've had headphones on, and just I was so angry at myself watching it. I just don't look. I've obviously looked at some point, but I must have thought that's a bus. I'll make that. And I just going.
I think the other thing as well, what I know I've been guilty of it, is when you're on a run, you think like everyone's got to like
stop for you. So I just go into my own world as well. I have my music on when I'm running. I like to like visualize fights and stuff like that. So the last thing I'm probably not like after it, few people had said to me, one of my mates, Jack, said, "Oh, my mate rang me saying I nearly ran him over the other week." So
Yeah, we feel like we've got right away, don't we?
yeah,
Everywhere we
must
go.
do.
Do you know what
But
I mean?
yeah, watching it back was mad. It definitely could have been avoided. You can see where I'm going, and the bus just didn't slow down. And he didn't hit the brake at all until after he hit me. I don't know what went on with it. Like, I don't know whether he's froze, like, or whether he's just, some people just think arrogance and just think, get out my way, do you know what I mean? And I shouldn't have been there, definitely, but I definitely think it could have been avoided as well, but it is what it is. I'm still here. I'm very lucky that I'm here to tell the tale from it, but just mad thing to go through. And I remember, obviously, like I said, my memory from it's so like vague and things. I don't know what's right and what's not. But I remember being in hospital and I kept telling everyone, like, I kept having like this flashback of like the bus being from like
Right on top,
amazing, yeah, like just like knowing I was gonna get hit by it. And then when I watched the video back, as I'm about to get it to look, and it's literally right there in the distance, and everything was like the exact same as what it like stuck in my head. And I just remembered
Do you
like
know what, I can
that
actually
feeling of
relate to
thinking,
that because I remember crashing my car one time
mm,
and it was a bad accident and the car was actually rolling over, like tumbling the car. It was a bad one.
yeah,
And I was just waiting for that bang. But I just remember just before, like, 'cause I had to swerve to miss someone and went up the start of a centre reservation. And that was the last thing I remember. I must have just closed my eyes. But even now I can go back to that moment where I actually swerved to miss them and went up the thing and then I was just waiting for the bang, like
yeah,
the
it's
final, like, where it's curtains. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
that's what I literally,
Yeah.
honestly, like the memory in my head is thinking like, oh, I'm done here. Just having like that second, like I'm sure people
Like a
can imagine
split
it. Just
second, what
look,
last
I'm
last
just
for it,
going
yeah.
across the road, chilling with my headphones on, and I don't know whether apparently he was beeping, so I don't know whether I've heard the beep or, do you know when you can feel someone creeping up behind you? I don't know whether I thought like that and I've just looked and I just remember thinking, oh.
So he's beat before he's...
Yeah, apparently he was beeping me, but obviously I've got headphones on for when I listen to my music. I have it dead loud, so I'm just not reacting,
Oblivious.
obviously, yeah, and he weren't slowing down. I don't know whether he was thinking that he was beeping, I'd like see him back off, but weren't the case, so, but like I said, I must have felt it or heard, like felt it coming or heard or something like that, because I did, I looked and
I think that's instinct as well, though.
it is, innit? Like I said, it's like when you're a kid and you feel someone creeping up behind you, like it must have been that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then, to be honest, I'm glad I seen it, because obviously
You brace
I
for
probably
it. It's like
braced for
taking a
it.
shot,
It's
isn't it, in a
literally
sense?
like, this is what I was saying to people. Like, one thing you learn about fighting, like imagine like people who fight will know what I'm on about. Like if you take a leg kick limp, or if you take a leg kick and you brace them ready for him, you know how to
The
brace.
shots straight to the ones you don't see.
Yeah, literally. So I've seen it, and it's lit on like on the video. It's like I'm about to shoulder barge, and then it hits me and knocks me, and my head it's the curb. And I'm lucky as well, because where my head goes, like if he would have carried on in a straight line, the wheel would have went over my head. It would obviously be being curtains down, would have been bad. Like, yeah, it would have probably come off and everything, just because the bus was going like, you weren't going slow. It was like 25 mile an hour, which isn't fast, but for a bus, it's, you know what I mean? It's enough to do proper damage. Like, so as he's hit me and my head goes forward, he mounted the curb luckily and keeps going, but I'm just under the bus then, just getting dragged by it. There was one couple that watched it all from where their car was parked. Proper lovely couple, so grateful that they were there. If they weren't there, then probably would have been a different story, but they were the only people that like seen it all happen. And he just said, what, like, they just didn't think, they just thought they were going to see a body, like, didn't think anyone would have been able to survive it. But where they've come to see me, so they've come thinking I think he thought I would have been like bounced by it, but they'd look and I weren't there, so they went to the back, and I was underneath the engine, just getting burnt by the engine, just like out cold. Apparently I was like gargling and things like that, so I think they thought I was dead. And the fella used to be a firearms officer, and he said, so he's obviously at work and stuff like this.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, and
well, obviously not that, but
yeah, but along those
serious
lines, and
injuries and things.
he said like the blood out my head was like jam, and he said it weren't flowing at all, which made him think I was dead, obviously, because my heart wasn't being pumping. But I think just out of nowhere, like the Undertaker off the WWE, my eyes just started like blinking, and then apparently I've just like turned and looked. Obviously, I've got no memory of this. And then started speaking to them. They were like holding me hand and just speaking to me to keep me awake. And then loads of people come, literally like apparently there was so I've seen that the man I was in hospital, it was mad. Like every day I was getting like a few messages saying, "Oh, I was there, I was there." It was mad how many people must have been there. But
Have you spoke to all the people who were there when
I've
it
tried to
happened?
like message all of them.
And have they obviously
Everyone.
gone through like what happened?
Yeah, I've seen.
Obviously, you're not to know. You
I
can only know basically
everything
what.
I know is off the video which I've watched, and then obviously people who were there who I've spoke to. But there was loads of people. I've seen a few of them. I've seen that couple who watched it all, and there was another fella, but again, proper nice fella who was on. I don't know whether he was the other. He works for the ambulance anyway. He's high up in the ambulance, and he was there quick. I'm not sure whether he was off duty or on duty.
He's like
And there was
off-duty
another
paramedic.
yeah,
so-
and there was another off-duty paramedic, a woman. Again, I've texted her. I've not seen her, but just like so lucky that they were there. I think one of them had pressure pads as well
Wow.
to stop bleeding. Just like, if that's not luck, I don't know what is. Just having them people around me there. It was on a main road as well, which is probably a good thing. Obviously, the amount of people going past. They come over, all stayed with me. Apparently, they were all around me. I had someone holding me neck, 2 people holding my hands. People, the fella who I went to see, and he done all like the checks on me.
Are you
Obviously
still
had to,
under the
like,
bus at this point?
They'd moved the bus, or they had to move because literally I was apparently getting like the heat was meant to have been proper hot off the engine, but they couldn't turn the bus off because the
Because it dropped,
suspension on
wasn't
the
it?
bus had dropped, and then I was under it. So I think they got the bus driver to move the bus forward. I don't know how long I was there for. Everyone was saying all different times, things like that. Again, I've got no idea. But I was under there for a bit, and then once they moved the bus forward, then I was just sort of lying in the road where I'd so on like what I've seen, my head goes into the curb. But then when I got found, I was facing the other way, so I literally just must have been under the back, just like rolling, because I've managed to go from my head being that way to my head facing the other way. My feet were facing the curb then, and then yeah, that's when apparently I was just speaking about. This was another thing. One of the only things I remembered was speaking about my little girl. I don't know where like she. I think honestly think she's one of the main reasons that I'm still here. Like I just don't think there was nothing like I need to watch her grow up. There was nothing that could have stopped me getting home to her that day. So apparently when I was under there, that was all I was speaking about. I remembered most things, to be fair. Apparently remembered where I lived.
Honestly, that's like
things like that.
Obviously, I believe in anything, but one thing that like is the most surprising is how much like you haven't been affected with the severity of the injury to your head.
And
even your body,
yeah, even my back though, like I've 4 breaks in my back, but without any spinal cord damage. If my spinal cord had been damaged, then literally I'd never be walking again. So the fact I've not got a long-lasting brain injury or a spinal cord injury is it's mad. Like there was people on the ward. I was on the major trauma ward, and ain't see, like honestly, boss people all on there. A lot of them as well. They got me through it, and lucky in Liverpool that you've got such good hospitals around. There's only a few major trauma wards, I think, in the whole of the UK, and we've got one of the best ones there. So again, that's another thing I'm very lucky to have. But there was people on the ward who'd had like much less like impactful things happen to them, or like on paper, like what happened to them was nowhere near as bad as what happened to me. But they come out with like lifelong injuries, to legit life-changing injuries. As much as all my injuries have changed my life in that sense, I'm working to get my life back, and I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Whereas some people, like literally like a little bang on your head and they've got bleeds on the brain. I got ran over by a bus.
How much of a fact did you think, obviously, because the type of training what we do and what you'll have done with Dean and I done through Carbon, like it literally can shape your body for getting beat up every single day, doesn't it? So
like even just like there's a lad in our gym, Hayder, I've said this before, he's massive big unit, and just like sparring with people like that and getting the smack off him all the time, constantly, and like bracing for stuff and things like that.
I can't say conditions you for getting hit by a bus, but in a sense,
sort of does though, in a sense, you know what I mean? And when I've tried to explain this to some people, you probably think what's he on about, but you don't realise how much stronger, like if I can think back to when I first started, like if I was to block a kick on my arms, like you're taking, you're like, oh, whereas now you can get blasted in them, like, so I feel like it obviously makes your bones stronger, everything stronger, everything around it. So that's and again another thing.
Who's had a leg kick and then they started Muay Thai or obviously MMA, and then they realise how much, like, just off getting the first time I ever got kicked in my life. I went to Carbon, I'd never done that, just boxed. Like, anyone kicks me, I just punched them, and I thought that, like, here you go.
Yeah, you don't realise.
I was with Colin Eden, and he'd done a demonstration for a kick and actually kicked me in slow motion. Well, I mean, like, he literally just kicked me, but he, knew exactly where the spot was, and I couldn't I couldn't walk like that after, and then I was like, wow, what a serious dead leg here.
Yeah.
Couldn't walk for 2 days.
But then
And
that's
it was
what
slow
goes,
motion, he's
doesn't
only
it?
doing a demonstration, do you know
5%
what I
one.
mean? So
But that goes, doesn't it? Out the more
yeah, and
like
after a
it's
while,
feeling
then
like
you're just
you
like, you're getting kicked in the legs, and
you're
don't
still
get me wrong,
feeling it
it's
and
still
that,
not
but
nice, but
you defo your body's just becomes conditioning. And another
Mhm.
thing is me level of fitness. I was a few weeks out from a fight, about 5 weeks out from a fight. I was fit, I was in shape, like at like me peak physical condition. So that helped as well, because I'm lucky my heart never stopped. I had like bad bruising to my heart and my lungs, which like I can't remember. It's all on my list of my injuries, but I can't remember the proper term for it. But when I was reading into that, it's like a lot of the time if you get like that deep bruise and things like that to your heart, it can just, well, a lot of people go into like a cardiac arrest off it and things like that. So
how many surgeries have you had altogether?
I think four, yeah. I had my head done, ACL reconstruction, which I had done 2 weeks ago, which was hard because I felt like I'd finally made a bit of progress to then have to get another
An ACL
major op.
reconstruction on its own is a bit.
Yeah, that's
a
what I
big
mean.
operation, isn't it?
It's big. It's a hard thing to do. I had to get my hamstring took out of my opposite leg as well. Usually they try and keep it all on one side, because I've had that much trauma to that leg. They took it out of my other leg. So for the first few weeks, I had 2 bad legs. It was a nightmare, like trying to get upstairs and things like that. I had a skin graft, like I said, to my calf, got some nasty scars, and then that up me thigh as well. I had surgery to that, and then even just things like my lip and that, that had to get done by like proper plastic surgeons. My lip, this like quarter on my lip here, I'm still trying to get used to this scar. This scar, I don't like it, but I've got pictures of it all. Like that, literally just lost that quarter of my lip, and the man.
You're still a handsome kid, mate. Don't worry.
Mate, thank you. But like just they done a good job on all of it, like, but I'm still a mess.
Obviously, if I didn't see the crutches when I first seen you before, you didn't look much different than the last time I seen you properly.
Yeah, no, I'm still come out of it all right, like, to be fair.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
It honestly, it's mad. Like it really, really is. One of the hardest things, to be honest, like just speaking on that topic, was like coming out of the back brace and things like that. So I had like a full neck and back brace on for 3 months, a leg brace. So like, and when I was like that, I think people could like see like he's hurt there. Do you know what I mean? And when I was coming out of that, I was thinking, I'm not all right here, and people are just gonna be looking like back to normal. And I felt so bad about it. I was dreading coming out of it, just because I was in so much pain still. But I couldn't have stayed in that forever. Obviously, you've got to learn to like use your muscles and things like that. I had like bad ligament damage in my neck and slipped 2 discs. So I needed to start trying to gain like, it's like wearing that neck brace is like someone just holding your head up for you all the time, so all your muscles and that just switch off. So there come a time where I had to come out of it. They only really like keeping people in them for 3 months. But at the end of that 3 months, I was thinking, I'm not ready for this, mate. So that was another hard thing. But like every week, I'm just making a little bit of progress and definitely getting there now.
What's the any more surgeries?
No, I need to go and get, well, I'm open, not like I need to go and get my shoulder looked at. I'm still having problems with my neck and my other shoulder as well. I have this mad burning sensation. I've never like had nothing like it in my right shoulder. It's weird, so I need to go and get that looked at. I don't know whether it's coming from my neck or anything like that. And I need to go and get my other shoulder looked at. Like even the things that I've not like injured, like they're not like down on my injuries. Everything's just knackered. Yeah, like my ankles, both shoulders, everything. I'm feeling it everywhere. Like,
compare it to like being towards the end of a camp on a Friday when you've been
much worse than that. Like, worse. But I think that's probably like prepared me for it as well. Like the physical, the pain. Obviously, I've never had pain like it. Probably never will again. But as a fighter, you sort of get used to being sore. So I could handle that side of it.
You learn to cope with pain, don't you?
You learn to get on with it, not to that extent. But for the most part, I could handle the pain. The worst side was the mental side of not doing anything. Like training's what keeps me sane, literally, for as long as I remember. It's all I've done. So to go from being like that all the time, it's like what keeps me ticking, to just nothing at all, just being bedbound. It was hard. The first probably 8 weeks, not so much. I was just so happy to be alive and just in pure shock still. Probably got me through it a little bit, and all the messages and all the support of everyone. It was like give me motivation to like be like staying positive and get better.
You probably had literally hundreds of thousands.
But I read all of them. I was trying to message everyone back that I could. But it was
pretty quick as well.
It was. I just had nothing else to do. But all that was proper helping me. Like, give me a proper boost. Without that, it would have been much harder. But then when I got home and things like that, and it started to die down, and then you sort of like left to just pick
there,
up the
aren't
pieces yourself. Then, you know what I mean? And everyone else's life goes on, and I'm still on now. It's 6 months now, and I'm still not doing
Yeah,
anything
how long
that,
have
that I
you been
want to do.
exactly?
Just under 6 months, in about a week or something, I think it'll be.
Mm.
So it's been a long time. I'm still miles away, but like I said, it's progress in
Not
it.
so much about how far away. It's like, look how far you've came.
Yeah, definitely.
And
If
6
someone would
months
have told me 6 months ago when I was lying there in that bed that I'd be sat here doing this now, feeling like this, I'd would have bit their hand off me. I probably wouldn't have believed them how I was feeling when I was first in there, moving my arms, not unlike. So to go from that to this in 6 months, it's good going. Like,
Yeah,
so
do you realise how many people like must be watching the videos and seeing the way you've dealt with this? Well,
yeah, I had loads of messages as well off other people who were going through, like, obviously not exactly the same, but similar sort of stuff, and saying like they were
adversity, and
struggling and they drew things like drew a bit of stem from it.
because it
So
does even for yourself, obviously for other people, but it does put things into perspective, doesn't it? 1 minute life sounds, you've got your mission,
literally,
and then the next minute it's
like that,
put
just
under the bus.
from being on that
Yeah.
run, just thinking about me fight to the next minute, I probably should have been dead for what happened to me. It's mad. So my perspective and my outlook on life has definitely changed. Just crazy when I speak about it now. Just it's quite overwhelming, like, but getting there.
What's the plan?
Just
Then just more if they give you any indication of.
at first, like the main consultant was saying, I wouldn't fight again. Just said I wouldn't be smart of all the trauma I've been through. But it's like,
But if they said, in terms of like the head injuries and things like that, if they said to you can't fight,
not so at first, but then this was another thing in hospital. Like, there was so many things that could have went wrong. Like all the scans I was getting, obviously nothing was good, but like if it would have been a little bit worse, it'd be over. Do you know what I mean? Like my head, my back, every like MRI and even my X-rays on my back. Obviously the bones needed to heal at like a certain angle, I think it was. And if they never, I would have had to get surgery to my spine, like a metal rod put in my spine that would have stopped me fighting. And every time it was good news. I was good for me, do you know what I mean? Even there's like the skin graft, we got a massive skin graft. And like loads of times with that, it doesn't go well and it doesn't take. And everything that I needed to be good news ended up being good news. So, but that's another thing of being lucky and blessed about. So, and that's been carrying on. Same with me ACL surgery. It's another thing that can
even
have complications
the actual
and that.
accident itself, to have 2 paramedics.
Yeah, that's
Over
just
like the pressure pads and.
literally
Like
without them there, I probably would have.
That, could you?
No, I literally would have bled out without them there. They had me head wound was that bad, but still, yeah.
There we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been following, honest to God, like every time I think about you, like I'm big into like visualization and different things, and we've had a couple of conversations, and like I have a thing called I call them mental movies, or little things what we see, and every time you come into my mind or anything like that, I actually see and imagine you like. I've said to loads of people when you're being brought up in conversations, like when he makes his comeback, I'll be front row.
Yeah.
Me and MJ just sitting there, we take into all the shows, and like when you come into my mind, that's like I consciously think about like seeing you with your arm raised.
Yeah.
First fight back, and I'm like, what a fucking like
And
no greater comeback story. Do you know what I mean?
That's one of the things that's been getting me through it. I just keep picturing that moment, the walk.
You touched on like visualization. These are things which like obviously I'm really interested in.
Yeah, I think as a fighter, the massively
Did you use
important.
it while you were fighting? Is it something you've practiced like intentionally, or?
Yeah, I think I've just like even when not intentionally doing it, just every night I've got a fight every night before bed. You're lying there seeing everything good, bad.
And what type of things would you see then?
Winning, losing, getting knocked out, knocking people out, just mad stuff. But now I'm doing it with intention. Like I just keep picturing that moment of that fight back. I've got a nice plan in my head. I want to come back to a fight where people go, "What the fuck's he fighting him for on his first fight back?" I've got every right after what's happened to me to come back and batter some bum and be like that. I'm back, but that doesn't appeal to me. Like I want to come. I want to come back and fight somewhere. People go, "He's gonna get fucked. What's he doing that for his first fight back?" And shock everyone and show everyone that I've still got it. Do you know what I mean?
And you know what's funny, mate? Because obviously you've had a good upbringing, and you're such a pleasant person. Again, something which has always stood out. You're just like a nice, genuine, like honest lad. I'm not trying to give you a big head here, but like you find it hard for someone to have a bad word to say, but then at the same time, you think nothing about twisting to someone
No,
or fucking giving someone a serious beat down. So it's like,
yeah, that's what I can't wait for. Put someone to sleep again. Like, he's like that. He's lovely, that, but I
goes
can't wait
back
to
to
get
the
my hands on
never,
someone.
never
Like,
judge a book by its cover.
no. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that day. It's gonna be crazy when I think about it. Like you said before,
You haven't put no deadlines on, like, or there's no time.
No,
You're not putting yourself under no pressure.
it's like finding the balance between, like, I want to, like, even now, like, I feel like a different person to what I was 6 months ago. Like, the further I get away, the longer it's taking, the further I'm getting away from that person that I was. So I don't want to take too long, but I need to take my time. I've had major trauma, like, probably not many people who've had, like, so many injuries everywhere. If it was just one of my injuries,
yeah, unless it's someone who's really close to you, that no one's going to understand to the degree of which, or the severity of the injury.
Like we said, even if just an ACL reconstruction on its own is a massive thing.
Massive,
that's like one of my smallest problems. Do you know what I mean? So I just need to take the time, work my way back, and when I'm ready, make sure I'm proper ready. And it's going to be a big, definitely. But hopefully for the other person, not me, I've been through enough of that.
Fucking, I wouldn't want to fight you, mate.
That's another
Someone
thing.
said to me, you're fighting Liam McCrackin. I Google you'd be like, wow, fucking not a chance.
That's what I'm thinking now. There's not a man who's 70 fighting at 70 kg that can hit me harder than a bus.
You've had it with a bus, mate, and you come out the other side, then it's like,
I got some faith in me chin now, like,
aren't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
and by the sound of it, obviously fate's been on your side as well, hasn't it?
Yeah,
with all the different events and things which have happened, like everything's fell into place for you.
100%, and I think there's gonna be a lot of good to take from such a bad situation at the end of it all. Like I said, I'm gonna draw a lot of strength from this. Not like on like a personal level. I'm never gonna have to go through anything like this again in my life. It's as hard as it's ever gonna be.
The story's massively inspired me, and obviously that's my niche for the podcast. It's like bring people. It's not all about like having big massive names, and it's about bringing people in who are like, I've got a real story to tell, real relatable, genuine people.
Yeah,
and showing what like you can overcome.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And every fighter needs it as well, don't you? Need, like we were speaking about at the start.
It's not just fighting, but it's not just so much fighters. It's in the world we're in today. It's everybody needs some form of motivation and inspiration. Your story's like, you know, it's absolutely amazing. But so what's the plan now then? Just physio,
keep cracking on. Obviously, because I had that ACL reconstruction coming up, I was just everything I was doing and I needed to give everything else time to heal. I was just focused. I was going to the gym doing leg press, leg extension all the time. I hated it. I was literally dreading it every day, but just had to get it done just to try and get my leg as strong as I could because I'd lost major strength in my legs. So the stronger you go into the surgery, the better the outlook after it. So I was smashing that. So that was like 3 weeks ago today, my surgery. So now I need to start putting a focus on everything else. Like I said, I'm going to get my shoulders and my neck looked at again. And just keep cracking on with it.
I know that thing sound like, have you done any type of training or exercise or what?
Literally from when I've got mad videos on my phone and in my neck brace after literally a few weeks, just like shadow boxing like this, just move. The second my arms could get past me hips, I was in bed just trying to do something. Mad. All these stuff I think one day hopefully come out on, like, I know, go on to make something of myself and I can put all these out there one day and proper inspire people, because I did deal with it well. That's one thing I'm proper proud of myself. Like, yeah, definitely. Like, I got on with it, and if anything, I've pushed myself well too much, and I'm going to carry on doing that. Everyone's like, slow down, take your time. Like, no, I'm not going to. I've been away for too long. So it's not who I am. I'm not going to. Like, I'm going to do everything I can, and then more as well. And might bite me in the ass a little bit, but I'll keep coming back through. Nothing's going to be as bad as what has already happened to me. Do you know what I mean?
What's so obviously you've got a missus, haven't you?
Yeah.
And a baby.
Yeah.
How old's the baby?
18 months.
She's probably a bit too young to like process what's going on.
At first was horrible in hospital. Obviously she was the first person I wanted to see. I just wanted to see the baby, and she come in and just was like, what's happened to me dad there? Just wasn't just looking at me as if didn't get nothing back from her for ages. Must have just been confusing to her.
Yeah.
Well, she's my best mate again now, like, so that's another thing as well. Like, I think there's always something good out of everything. I think, like, these months are some of the best years I've like, what everyone says it to me, like, this age that she's at now is the best age I've had. Like, 6 months of every single day just being there with her all day and watching her become a little person. So I never would have had that if this never
Yeah.
happened to me.
And
So
as a
I've got to try and
fighter,
look at it like
naturally,
that.
people say it's selfish. I don't agree.
Mm.
Myself, but at the same time, it's the type of thing which it's all or nothing. I've got to put so much time and energy into
Yeah,
fighting, and most of the things, including family. You know, if you want to be successful, it does have to go on the back
yeah, they
burner.
put it on the back burner a bit,
So
don't you?
I
So
totally understand that, because obviously with myself, I had a lad at 27 on
mm,
my son, and obviously I was still fighting at the time. So I used to find it hard. I used to go away a lot. And up until that point, before he was here, I never carried any guilt, or I'd spend 2, 3, 4 months of the year in different countries training. But
it's
as soon
hard
as
to
he
get
came along, I'd
balance
go
of it,
away, I'd
innit?
get home sick, I'd feel guilty, and
Yeah,
all
so
these different things. And I missed a lot of time, to be honest,
yeah,
with MJ. So I know definitely every cloud has a silver lining. But
definitely it's one way to. I'd rather look at it like that and try and take the positives out of it.
yeah,
Because if I was to look at the negatives, there's fucking enough. There's plenty of them.
there's
I'd get
plenty,
myself
yeah.
down. Do you know what I mean? But when I look at it like that, there's been a lot of good that's come out of it as well. I've
Yeah,
had
and that
6 months
seems
of
to be your focus, isn't it? On just always looking forward. And
yeah, definitely. I've got to when you're in a situation like this. Like I said, if I got caught up with all the negative stuff, which I do have, obviously I do at times. At times I don't want to get out of bed and I'm getting jealous and looking at other people. But for the most part, I just got to keep bringing myself back to it and all the good stuff around me.
And you were saying before, you find it hard to go in the gym and see the lads training and things like that.
Yeah, I'm starting to like do a little bit of coaching, not again on the sense of like doing anything, but just sitting and watching and trying to help out. So a few of the lads have got fights coming up in a few weeks. I'm hoping to try and do their corners and things like that. Just trying to get my hand back in.
Yeah.
And just keep me like trying to stay sharp with it all mentally.
Even being in and around like people fighting in the warm-up rooms and all things like that, it helps us as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And like, I want to stay familiar with it all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's been keeping me busy lately. I did go, like I said, it was like about a month phase where I thought I was just not going in. It was getting me down watching it, but after like there's only so much sitting in you can do. It's not good for you. Literally, yeah, it's where I am all the time. So like,
by the sound of it, was your first.
Yeah,
I used to say, I used to live, I said this before, 15 minutes from the gym, 20 minutes from the gym, and I'd rather sleep on the mat than drive home.
That's what I've been like just from young. Just I'd train in the morning, I'd be teaching all day, and then in the night I'd be training again, and then I'm going home. I'd literally just sleep in my bed.
Yeah, like, I've been in the odd time to see Dean. I just see lads just lying down. Like,
yeah,
that was me.
I went to college and that there and everything, so I was never out of there. What's changed once I had the baby? I just, like I said, just trying to get the balance. I'd always train in the morning, family time in the day, train overnight, and then by the time I come back, the baby and be in bed.
Well, I caught on to what you said before, over just like a simple life.
Yeah, that's...
And it is, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Like one of the most simple forms of life you can possibly have, just training.
And that's what I can't wait to get back to. Like, none of like...
How do you get by them, obviously financially? I know it's difficult. It's not what a lot of people think from the outside, but obviously 5-1, you're at that stage where you're probably not earning enough money off the fight to pay for your food and your camp and
coaching and just being skins, literally. Like, I do the bit of coaching, but coaching takes away from the fighting massively, so I cut it down to a minimum just to where I could get by. I could pay the bills. I had no money to do anything. Never buy myself. No, I still don't now. I just go everywhere in my little slippers and that. Like, but
comfy them, no, aren't they?
I've
got a pair of them in ours.
These are all away. Go out for like, even if I go for a nice scran away, these really look mad in there. But yeah, just being skins.
What do you find it like in shoes? Because I spent 10, 15 years on mats, and I don't like wearing shoes. I'm dead funny over like wearing things on my feet. And
it's these all wrestling boots as well. If I'm in the gym, I've got wrestling boots on, otherwise I'm just in them when I get about in.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of shoes, and I definitely put it down to like my toes being nice and free and just walking around on the soft mats.
Barefoot all the time.
Yeah. What's the support being like from obviously your family and your mum and dad?
I've got literally like the perfect family. Like, everyone around me is being so good. Obviously, such a hard thing for them to go through as well.
Yeah,
like, they'll probably never get out. Like, I'd rather have went through it myself than have watched any of them go through it. I'm glad it was me and not them. So it must have been hard for them to like sit watching me go through that. Especially because like, it was so clear where I was going. I knew where I was going. I feel like they knew where I was going. I'd put so much time and effort into it just to have it like took away from me. Like, that was a hard thing. But
a lot of people up until obviously that happened spoke very, very. Obviously, I'm come from an MMA background myself, so Still speak to a lot of people around gyms. I'm good friends with Dean,
Yeah.
who's a fucking mega, like one of the best people you'll ever come across, Dean.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
going to give
boss
him a
Dean,
little
innit?
shout out. I love Dean.
Yeah, he's a good guy, Dean.
But even like conversations I've had with him, and like people did up until that point speak very, very like highly of your potential and
Yeah.
talented. Seen a couple of fights myself, so
Yeah, now I knew where I've trained with people at like the level that I'd want to get to, and I knew where it was at. I was
I
very
remember
good.
seeing a video of you actually. I think it was sparring Dean,
Yeah, fuck Dean.
And you were only young at the time, but I could see like
yeah, the spot. Yeah,
in a sense, I could see like not a lack of respect, as in respect for Dean, but like you find with a lot of young people. I used to coach in Carbon as well as obviously fight from there, and I think when you're out a coach, you get a lot of like the younger ones, especially, to give you a bit too much
yeah, no,
respect sometimes. And I seen you like putting it on,
never been like
putting
that.
it on.
Always
Dean, I was like, yeah,
get
that's
stuck
fucking.
into anyone I go with. Like always being like that. Like I think that sometimes when I look at younger people now, you can just see the ones who like. If I was a kid rolling with, I had by the time it was me and Marlon, we brought each other on
Marlon's
massively.
quality as
Yeah,
well.
like, and when we were younger, we were like dead competitive. We had like, I remember Phil, who's like my head coach, give us he was offering us like bounties for like sub black belts, and by the time I was 16, we had a hit list of about 10 black belts that he was paying us to sub them. So when I was rolling with them, you see like some kids are like, whereas we were going at them getting money at the end of it, but ended up with a nice list of a load of black belts. Yeah, I've got a good team around me, like, and then like you said, obviously my family and all that. I've got it good. Just want to get back to it now, like dying to.
Hungry.
Yeah, very. This has made me more hungry than anything. Not even for like sometimes I think I couldn't be arsed being like a proper superstar and not being able to go down. Like, that's not what I'm in it for. But I just miss the lifestyle of.
I don't think you got. It's one of them things. I even like obviously I reflect on it a lot. And it was like it was never about money or any of these things. You may openly say the thing I struggled with the most was actually because I was very inexperienced, but competing at a high level.
Yeah.
Like I struggled like mentally and didn't feel at the time I had anyone to talk to. And one of the first things I would look for in any fight is obviously what's his mindset like.
Yeah.
Like with yourself, obviously you've got everything. Like the skill and the ability, but obviously you're an intelligent lad as well.
Yeah.
Which I don't think people really understand how much of a big part that plays in MMA. And you see most of the top elite level fighters now, the very best. You've only got to watch a couple of videos and have a conversation with them to realise that they're super smart.
Yeah,
they could do anything.
Yeah.
They choose to be a fighter, but they could do anything. And that's what, like, if it's about money or it's about attention or fame, then I think you're only ever going to, it doesn't matter how talented you are, it's a type of thing where you can only excel and become elite in it if you've really got the passion and the love for it.
That's what it all comes down to, is the passion, isn't it? So that's what I'm in it for. Like, I just want to be the best fighter that I can be, and wherever that takes me, it's going to take me. Like, not aiming to like, I want to be this, I want to be that. I just want to.
Do you ever have any fear over, I know no one wants to lose.
Yeah, that.
Like the thought of losing things,
yeah, definitely. Like, before a fight, you're not scared of getting hurt. I'd never be thinking, he might like break me nose or something. Yeah, do you know what I mean? You're not. This is what I think people from the outside think you're scared of, but it's the fear of losing. I'm more like scared of myself, scared
the
of like
you put on yourself.
Yeah, scared of what I'd be like to myself if I got beat. Not even what other people around me'd be like, but how much I'd beat myself up. That's what I'd fear. Do you know what I mean? Is having to live with myself, knowing that.
I think every fighter to some degree goes through similar feelings, and like, you know, some manage it and some don't. You see loads of lads who are amazing in the gym. That was me.
But yeah, there's loads of like that.
But again, it was I found it hard because I had there was no amateurs when I was younger. Like you just straight in, and it's
pretty
much
straight learning on the job, aren't you? There?
Yeah, and you're out trying to learn and process and understand how do I manage my thoughts and emotions and my feelings and these conversations, what are going on.
Yeah.
In my mind. Some people naturally do it, and some people struggle. But
yeah, I feel that sort of clicked for me when I went pro. I had 11 fighters and amateur, and even though to everyone else, like, I started getting a bit of a name around me, obviously only on a small level, but like regionally, but I still knew I wasn't ever performing close to like
potential.
Yeah, and I was like I've never had a fight where I was happy. I was crying my eyes out. Like, I got beat after like my last amateur fight. Like I'd been knocked out even though I won. I I got a 10-8 every round for 5 rounds, and I was crying after it, disappointed because I never finished them. And then when I went pro, I don't know, just something clicked. Probably like you said, all like the experience I'd had just started coming together, and I just sort of like I let it go once and properly and thought I'm just going to do that every time now. Like,
got into flow.
yeah, literally. And then when every fight after that, I've always left. Even like I lost the fight on Bellator, but I left happy with my performance. I got stuck out in an ambulance because I was spewing it everywhere after the fight. And what more can I ask of myself? I literally done everything I could. I lost to like a massive prospect from SBG, who's like their golden boy coming through.
Yeah.
Lost it like.
Even the fact you're going in, you're willing at the stage what you're at, because a lot of people avoid.
No one else would have took that fight.
You know,
I
know all about that. A lot of people don't, especially if there's nothing to gain from it, really.
Yeah.
You know,
and the win for me, I was free, and I could have took any
people
fight.
who are further ahead, so you can take their place or get where they are. And it's like,
yeah, and like I said, that's the mentality I'm gonna come back in with. I'm not coming to batter a few bums and pretend to everyone like I'm the man, because deep down inside I'd get no like. I'd rather I'd rather fail trying to be the man than like succeed in pretending to be the man just to give an image off to everyone.
What people don't realise how much you do actually take from. You know, again, I'm a big fight fan, and I've watched loads of fighters, and like that. It's all at the end of the day, a loss is information. It's like,
no, definitely.
That's somewhere where I need to improve or need. So you don't actually lose if your goal is to become the best fighter what you can possibly be. There is no losing, because if you do make a mistake or you get caught, or it's like, well, that's where I need to improve.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's about just becoming the best you can possibly be.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what I just wish that
was
my
mindset when I was fighting myself. Like, if I lose this fight, it's life or death. Fucking everyone think I'm shit.
That's what it feels like, though, doesn't it? But
yeah,
it's not the case. Like, but like I said, just that's what I love, the challenge of it. I love the fear of fighting someone good. I hate fighting someone where, like my last fight, I was struggling to get a fight, and the fella I was fighting, he was sort of like a journeyman. He was a proper tough bastard. He stepped in on a few hours' notice to fight this glory kickboxing champion at welterweight, which is like 2 weights above what I fought him at, and he couldn't put him away. Just a tough fella, but everyone was expecting me to win that fight. Yeah. I had to win that fight. I hated it. I'd rather go into a fight like where it's a 50-50.
That was a big part. Like, I totally relate to that.
Do you know what I mean? When you're going in and it's your
everything to lose, and
you feel like you can't win, because
I used to go into fights like thinking I had to be like fucking Nemo off the Matrix. Like, they weren't allowed to hit me.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I mean. Even if it's a loss, if you get hit,
so like, I just need to get in and beat him and get out. And then when that happened, I'd be like, it weren't even like I was happy. I was relieved.
Yeah, it's just relief, isn't it? Yeah. I say that even anyway, though. Even when I win a fight, like, it's now like after it. When I'm in the cage getting my hand raised, you probably look like you're buzzing, but inside I'm just
thank fuck for that.
Do you know what I mean? Because you put that much pressure and stress.
I remember all the lads all like after their fight, they'd be buzzing going out, and I'd be like fucking KFC drive.
Yeah, literally go
on
to
my way home.
That's
just
what I do. Just stay to bed.
KF, thank fuck, that's
trying
done.
to process what's happened.
Back in the gym, fucking literally, that's probably similar to yourself. Like, Colin used to tell me not to come in.
Yeah, that's
don't cut. Like, I'd fight at the end, be back in there. I'd train or do something on the Sunday.
Yeah, I'd literally
you could back in the gym Monday.
You could ask me coaches or anyone in the gym. I'm not that person.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Bet you're missing it, aren't you?
Honestly, massively. That was like, I think like probably about like the 4-month mark was where it started to get hard. Physically, I was getting better, but mentally I was getting worse, because like I said, I was just getting further and further away from that image and like that identity of myself being like a fighter. Like, got to the point I was thinking I'm just a big fat slob dad.
That might be your perspective on it, but then you couldn't really define a fighter any more than what you've done.
Yeah, exactly. That's a better way of looking at it.
You know what I mean? Like, the ultimate fighter.
Yeah, literally.
I might have to change it name on my phone again from the Terminator, but yeah, honest, that's so fucking like inspirational. So I've just obviously came back in, and while you were in the toilet, and the first thing Ben said, how the fuck's he even sitting there? So being in the gym then, around the likes of Dean, and I know Phil as well, a mate of mine, how do you think, what kind of effect do you think, obviously your parents, the closest people to you, but see, I'm big into like coach the kids and things like that. How much do you think that's helped shape the kind of person you're having, like role models and people like that around you?
Yeah, no, I think I've always been that. I've always like looked up to the people around me, and not like, I've never been like big into looking up to. I've always got like inspiration from the people around me and looked up to people like that. So just good people to have. I've got lucky with the people that I did grow up around with them. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I was with Phil from 13, and Dean as well. They've both been my coaches since a proper young age, and they've shaped me into like who I am today. Like, yeah, massively. So it's just, that's why it's important you get to the right gym and the right place, and because you sort of putting your career in their
someone
hands. For
else's
me,
hands,
yeah, for me, I've put like my life in their hands. This is what I've committed my life to doing. So you got to make sure you can trust the people and things like that. You know what I mean?
Dean's obviously made a comeback as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's doing all right. Anyway,
Yeah.
Dean, he's got some good news as well. Don't know whether it's out or not yet, but he's smashing it. And like, he's always just fell short of what he deserved. I think he's always been that level. And like, you look at some of the fights that he's had where he fought people like Magomedov, and who's beat Peter Yan, and Dean rocked him and things like that, and but just never got the opportunity, or it just never worked out for him. So it's nice to see him get what he deserves. Do you know what I mean? So we hopefully
I seen something he was saying,
that.
obviously over like the likes of watching Mokaev as well.
Yeah,
I think he's took some inspiration,
yeah.
obviously from seeing how far he's going and how well he's doing. Did you get to train with him much?
I trained with Mo loads when I was younger. It was like me, Mo, Marlon, we're all training together all the time. Just
He's a character,
bringing each
Mo,
other
isn't
on. Yeah, no,
he? First time I ever met him, we went down to Carbon in Wigan with Mike Grundy.
Yeah.
And he was there. He was literally a baby. I mean, when I say a baby, he was like a little kid, tiny. And I just remember seeing it. It was like, we were no one, but it was like he was starstruck.
Yeah.
Just having like all MMA fighters from Carbon. I think we went down for the opening or something like that it was. But obviously, again, been around him a bit early on. And I'd always tell he was going to go somewhere and do something.
Yeah, if there's one thing you can say about Mo, it's just his work ethic. It's just like,
he lives for it.
Yeah,
like,
literally,
he lives for it,
committed
doesn't he?
his whole life to it, and it's paying off for him now. Again, if you put what you deserve, and it doesn't work out for everyone. It's just the way it goes. But he definitely deserves what he's getting. He's top 10 ranked in the UFC now, not far off a title shot, but he's put the work in. So
yeah,
he's getting it back now. And he deserves it. So
anyone else coming out the gym then?
Me, when I'm back to it. Marlon as well. Marlon's just he's 7 months into his recovery. He had the same operation as me.
Did he have an ACL?
Yeah, that's why I was in hospital dreading that it was. I was just praying. Like, I knew I couldn't get an MRI on my knee because I had all staples in my leg, so I had to wait till they come out. And at the time, Marlon must have been like 2-3 months or 2 months, something like that, into his recovery, and I just seen him struggling. I was thinking, I hope I've not done my ACL because I'm gonna have to go through all this and then get that done. But it ended up being that. But Marlon's like back doing bits now, so he's another one. Like,
he's a top talent as well, isn't he?
Both of us
and he's
have
the
put
same.
too much work into, like,
watched him coming up and walking to and from the gyms and just like with his earphones on, he's always in the zone. You go in, like, again, Derby Lane. I've seen him in Derby Lane, like
that he's in there.
Even
now
nearly speak to no one. He just comes in, wraps his hands, gets his work done.
He's always been like
and
that.
Gets off.
Just silent killer, Marlon. Yeah. And then there's loads of, like,
he nearly fought Rafi, didn't he?
Yeah, they were matched the fight. I think that's when he started having his knee problems. I think he don't know whether he think he might have torn it then, and then it ended up getting even worse a few months later. I was there at the time. He done it was bad. But he's getting back to it. He'll be back to it soon, and 100% gonna go on to
big things,
do big things in the sport. Like, there's no way he won't. You know what I mean? Same as I think that's a lot about myself as well. I think there's no way I can put everything in that I've not that I have and not get something out of it.
Get back out what you put in one way or another.
Definitely. And then there's a few young kids like Shay Willow. There's another lad, Regan, like, just like scary. I sort of look at them and they sort of remind me of what me and Marlon were like when we were younger. Just like just certain kids who just stand out. I don't want to sound like I'm blowing smoke up my own ass, but I'm just being honest, you know what I mean? And them, they're like just unbelievable. Like, they would have probably fucked me when I was their age. Like,
they're very, like, very good. I'm not too sure on what's the other kid's name.
Regan.
Yeah.
Just animals, just competing all the time.
Shay's turning into a proper man now as well, isn't he?
He is. Little man boy Shay.
He's whooping men's asses when he was like...
literally, it's crazy. And there's other ones as well. Lewis Lever, Tom Harvey.
I know Lewis, do a lot with Tom. A little bit, yeah. He's a great kid, Lewis.
Another lad, Connor. So there's like... So you've got like me and Marlon, then there's a few little bit younger, like 18, 19, like Lewis, Connor, Tom, people like that. Other people are like all my mates are just from the gym. They're just fighters. Like,
I'm just your family, aren't they?
Literally. So like, there's other lads as well who I think will go on to have good careers, things like that. But yeah, there's loads from our gym. I think that's one of the good things about our gym is it's young talent coming through.
Yeah, that's what they do. Have loads, like I say, babies again.
yeah,
But they do have like really like kids from 4,
yeah, literally
5 and
all the way
upwards.
up. So future's gonna be good. Like,
Going back to then your recovery, obviously you spoke a lot about physically the different things. What
yeah,
about mentally? You obviously doing anything to?
yeah,
It's a very traumatic.
yeah, it's massively. I've definitely got like PTSD off it, and to be honest, I always struggled a bit mentally anyway. Mate, it's probably like my worst thing, even just outside the fight. And like I've got like bad health anxiety, and things like I've got like OCD and things like that. I wouldn't have spoke about it a while ago, but now I'm just I'm not asked. So I've
You've been diagnosed with OCD.
yeah, and health anxiety as well. Like, but even before, like, so my last fight, all I could think about before I was convinced I had a brain tumor. It was mad. I was sad. I was going to like the doctors all the time, going to the hospital, and they were like turning me away, like as if to say like, "Go away." But I was just convinced I had something up with me, like paying for like private brain scans and going and getting them and that. Like, just a bit of a scatty kid, but that's just the way I am. That's but if anything, I feel like this has been another good thing out of it. I'm like learning to like
Be more vulnerable.
and deal with it all and stuff like that properly. So yeah, and I've been going to see. So I've been going to counselling. I've just dealt with my accidents and just things like that in general. That's definitely helped. And then
How often do you go there?
just once a week. I've done it before, like just little bits, and I'd always like I'm probably blacklisted from half the people in half the councils in Liverpool because I'd book in and then it gets to the day and I'd go, I'm sad, I don't need that. As soon as I'd cancel it, I think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Then I'd be texting in a book and like, nah, you just cancelled on the day. But I've got into a bit of a thing with it now, so it's helping me massively. So I'm gonna keep.
We're all a bit
doing that.
fucking nuts, though, aren't we?
That's what I mean. I think
not many people admit
everyone
it,
is.
but
That's what I always just say. I always
especially in
just come
fighting
across
gyms,
honest.
everyone's the fucking, you meet them at like the most crazy people in
Yeah, you do.
fighting gyms.
You
I've met
took too
some
many shots to the head as well.
lunatics in the gyms, but some of the best people you'll ever come across in
Yeah,
your life.
definitely always good places to be, aren't they?
Okay, I always have a few questions at the end
Yeah.
of the podcasts. So, in terms like success or goals, what's like your definition of success, or what will it be for you? I think it's pretty obvious
Yeah,
to me.
short term is just getting back to my life, and what I mean by that is just training, just being back doing what I love every single day, and just being there on the mat and doing it myself.
Living
That's
in the
like
gym.
that's my short term goal. And then if like a long term one, I don't know. Like I said before, just being the best fighter that I can possibly be, and seeing where that takes me.
How far do you think that can take you?
All the way. Like I'm not just like, I truly believe it. Like I can compete with it, like skill for skill with anyone. I think even now, obviously not now. Get fucked by most civilians now, but
I don't know. You know, I wouldn't write you off. To be
like,
honest,
like
I
people
wouldn't
like
write
me
you off.
crutches, but 6 months ago, like I said, I trained with people at that level, and like
And you
without
did.
giving too much away, I know where I am, and it's been like that for a long time. So it was just sort of getting the experience and then actually going to show it. So yeah, just be the best fighter I can be, see where it takes me. I think it's going to take me a long way, and just be happy. I value my family more than anything. Like above fighting, like my daughter comes before any of that. So try and just be the best
The
dad that I
next
can be as
question
well.
then is what's happiness mean to Liam?
It's a tough one, that.
Try not to think about it too much. It's usually like,
Yeah, my happiness is having that like routine of just knowing what I'm doing every day. Like I said, it's just train, family time, train, bed, wake up the next day, do it just day in, day
and
out.
in the
Like,
world which is getting more and more complicated, it's like there's definitely a blessing in like just living a simple
life.
existence.
That's what makes me happy.
And the baby, obviously.
Yeah, she's everything to me. So just enjoying that, watching her grow up. And then yeah, just getting back to my life.
Have you got any like particular quote or anything like that? What you like? That's another question I ask people.
You know what? I probably have, but my mind's gone blank. No, I don't know. You know,
I've got one for you. God gives us toughest battles to his strongest soldiers.
I like that. Yeah, that's
Like
relate to that at the minute. Like,
that one. That was made for you, ain't it?
Yeah, no, definitely.
I've kind of got a personal like favour I'd like to ask of everyone, because something I believe in myself is obviously that we can see things and we can create things, and like you call it prayer or whatever you want, but I genuinely believe that the way we think and the way we see other people, that has an influence over them. It's actually proven. Like, it's science. It's not like just spiritual. I'm not religious, but anyone who thinks about you, or if they see it on social media, or I love every single person to actually create a little mental movie like what I've got. Every time I see you or think about you, or there's a video on Instagram, I spend a little minute just like, I'm getting goosebumps all over me now, just sitting ringside, just watching you raising your arm. And I thought it doesn't matter who it's against, just, it's the biggest victory in itself. You're just actually getting back to that point.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
But I would like anyone who's of the same beliefs or open-minded to see you well, to see you back in there competing. And I was going to say victorious, mate, but just sitting here today is like, you're already a world champion.
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
just being alive after what's happened to me is a big win.
But just keep doing what you're doing, and like, I can't thank you enough, not just for coming here, but for the message what you're putting out. So many people will take inspiration from your story, and I can't wait to get you back on again.
Definitely.
And like when you made that comeback, and
that'll be nice.
On,
that 100%.
So thanks again, brother.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. I love that.
Thanks, mate.
Nice one.